We'll be talking about what happens when you go all the way back to the beginning, like to the Garden of Eden, and you eat from the tree of life. Well, God gets very, very angry, and that's just the beginning. That's the setup for the author who's joining me today about her new book, The Last King. Welcome, Yamina Collins, the author of The Last King.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you here with us, Yamina.
Thank you.
So what is the 411?
Well, The Last King is basically a fantasy romance novel, and it actually takes place in modern-day New York, 2014, and yes, you're right, it does go back to the beginning, but it's basically about these group of people called Edenites, and Edenites are immortal beings whose ancestors basically walked into the Garden of Eden, ate from the tree of life, and lived forever. And basically, God considered their eating of the tree to be theft. It was basically an immortality that was stolen. So basically, he says to them, return your immortality. And they say no, because they have all this power. And so what God ends up doing in this book is he sets up this game. And this is where the modern part of the story comes in. He sets up a game where he says to each Edenite, okay, I'm not going to kill you, I'm not going to hurt you in any way, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send each of you something called a glitch. And a glitch is a completely normal human being whose job it is to retrieve the immortality from the Edenite and kill them off. And basically, for an Edenite to win this sort of chess game against God, all they have to do is kill off this glitch that God sends to them. Very simple setup. Problem is, God is very smart. And a glitch is not only an Edenite's greatest enemy, but also their greatest love. So the story starts off with Gilead Knightley, who is my male antagonist slash protagonist. He finally meets his glitch in this young woman named Emmy Hughes, who lives in upstate New York. And that's the beginning of the story.
And it's funny, I never thought a black man, a black woman, and a mouse between them would actually mean so much. We won't say anything more about that, okay? But it does get into something about what you have done, like we've talked about the different spaces, the different places, the naming. You're building and building and creating a world.
Right.
Well, as it turns out, a lot of different worlds because you have a lot of genres.
Yes.
Can you tell a little bit about what are the different genres? Probably will keep mounting, but for now.
Yeah, there's about 6 genres. I do worry that people are going to get a little schizophrenic. So it covers fantasy, it covers science fiction, it covers romance, it covers religion, it covers history, and it covers what I'd call African American literature.
One of the many things, this is another one, is that you also look at your characters like Emmy, who could play her if there were a film, a movie about her. And tell me a little bit about that, because I love the fact that you've created this amazingly rich, multi-dimensional world in the book.
Right.
And then online and via social media, you're doing the same thing. It's like she could look like Lupita Nyong'o, or, you know, Marcus could be Chris
Hemsworth,
who played in Thor.
He's Thor, yeah.
Yeah.
Gilead's brother. That would be Gilead's brother.
So and the songs you also have on your blog that
I
mean, you're just like exactly
for them.
It's
already.
like not just the episodes, but also you're building another world on social online and social media.
Yeah.
So one of the songs for Gilead and Emmy, A Long and Winding Road, I think.
The Beatles. Yeah, that's one of the sadder ones. That kind of comes into play in the later episodes, but yeah, the recent one was the Beatles. I've chosen some Earth, Wind and Fire songs, Beach Boys songs, everything. I just think that they would have a great they'd have a great soundtrack to their love story.
Exactly. It's not the usual overall in literature to see a black male protagonist slash antagonist who's so multi-dimensional and human, in other words. Although he's immortal.
He is immortal, yeah.
He's a different kind of guy. So are you concerned about the direction of African American?
I actually am concerned about the future of African American fiction. My biggest concern is balance, and that I notice with a lot of African American literature and films, there tends to be a lot of what I call abuse and pathology. Whether it's in films in which you get stuff like The Color Purple or in Precious, in which everyone's abusing each other, or even in books in which there's a lot of ghetto literature, I suppose I wouldn't mind it as much if there was balance. But there is no balance. There is almost it's all just black guys, molesting their children, or black women being abused, or, gold digging this, baby mama that. And I think our lives are so much richer than that. They're so much bigger than that. And I want there to be black literature in which we can go out of the box and just create even heroes and heroines that our children can grow up and be like, I want to be that. I want our children to be able to go and be like, I think white children get to go and they get to pretend that they're Thor or that they're the Princess Bride. They get to their imaginations get to be so rich. And our children's imaginations tend to be stuck with, well, I was born in the ghetto, or, my mother abused me, and I just think, no, we're bigger than that. We're more than that. And even if that does happen a lot, it happens in every culture. And I think sometimes what we need to write are images in which allows people to dream even beyond their personal situation. So while Gilead is certainly not a perfect character, I am going to give a spoiler alert here, I don't mind, but he does, for example, when Emmy and her friend are almost attacked and raped, he comes in and saves them. She doesn't know it's him, but I want it to be like, no, you know what? I'm going to make this guy the hero. Even though he still has some issues, I'm going to come in and make him be the hero I want him to be. I want him to come and rescue this black woman. I don't want her to, to see her just, on the ground and being attacked by this guy. And so that was intentional. And if I can, with my too small sense, encourage people to write just different stories, I'll be happy. We got the 411. Who's got the 411? We got the 411.